What if I told you that July 7th, 2025 isn't just another day on the calendar, but the day heaven has been waiting for? What if this is the moment your whole life has been leading to? The moment that was written into your story before you even took your first breath? Chosen one, this isn't just a fresh start. This is not just the turning of a page. This is the page, the one heaven kept sealed until your heart, your strength, and divine timing all came together as one. This is not a reset. This is not going back to fix what was. This is the true beginning. The beginning that doesn't restart the old, but reveals what was always meant for you. You are not here by accident. You are not stepping into this moment by chance. You are stepping into what has been waiting for you all along. You felt it, haven't you? That shaking beneath your feet. That tension between where you are and where you know you're supposed to be. That silent ache that no one else could see. You've prayed. You've waited. You've asked your questions in the quiet, hoping for answers. You've walked through seasons of delay, confusion, and closed doors that felt final. But still, you didn't fold. You didn't stop. You didn't give up. And that wasn't luck. That was your strength. That was endurance. That was heaven's hand keeping you steady when everything else tried to shake you. And now, July 7th is here as your reward. It's not just another day. It's a divine marker. The moment where everything starts to move, not to crush you, but to lift you. The kind of movement that doesn't wait for permission. The kind that happens when heaven says, now is the time. You've carried the weight of becoming. You've carried the weight of growing into who you're meant to be. And now, heaven is giving you wings. This moment isn't random. You are being drawn into it, drawn by your calling, drawn by divine timing, drawn by the version of you that heaven has been waiting for. The air around this moment will feel charged, not with chaos, but with heaven's energy. What was hidden will come into the light. What was delayed will finally appear. The right people, the right doors, the right opportunities. They won't feel random. They'll feel right, because they are. This is what happens when you're moved by calling, not chance. You don't need to chase anything. You don't need to beg for anything. You don't need to seek approval. You've already been chosen. You're not behind. You're not late. You are exactly where you need to be. And everything that comes next isn't luck. It's alignment. It's what heaven had planned for you all along. July 7th isn't just a date. It's the crossing point. The moment your waiting ends and your walking begins. You are stepping into the answers to the prayers you whispered when no one was watching. This is not about luck. This is prophecy fulfilled. And you were born for this. Your wisdom, your strength, and your choices have brought you to this very moment. Every step you have taken, even the ones that felt small or uncertain, has led you here. Those steps are no longer just simple movements. They have turned into a journey that is full of purpose. They have turned into a powerful force that is guiding you into the future you once only dreamed about. That future is not something far away anymore. It is here. It has begun. You are no longer waiting for your time. Your time is now. You are no longer imagining what could be. You are living it right now. You are the future unfolding in this very moment. So walk forward, chosen one. Walk with quiet strength. Walk with boldness. Walk with peace in your heart. Walk without looking for approval from anyone. Walk without needing to explain yourself. The power that is rising inside you does not need to be explained. It does not need to be understood by others. It only needs to be lived, fully, truly, without apology. This is not a small shift. This is not just a change in speed or direction. This is something greater. This is something sacred. The world around you is beginning to reflect the transformation that has already happened inside of you. All the inner work, all the healing, all the growing. It is now becoming visible on the outside. This is not a time of small improvements or tiny steps forward. This is a time of true awakening. This is the moment when you no longer have to adjust yourself to make others comfortable. You no longer have to hide your light so that others don't feel uncomfortable around you. You no longer have to work so hard to be accepted or understood. You are standing in your truth now. You are stepping into your purpose. You are answering the call that has always been waiting for you. You are no longer overcompensating to gain approval. You are simply taking your place, not with force, but with quiet certainty. You are no longer softening your shine. You are no longer shrinking yourself to fit in. You are here to grow. You are here to shine. You are here to take up the space that was always meant for you. Maybe in the past you felt like the world wanted you to say sorry for growing. Maybe people expected you to explain why you changed, why you became stronger, why you stopped fitting into the mold they tried to place you in. But that pressure is gone now. You don't owe anyone an explanation for becoming who you truly are. This is not just a lucky season. This is not just a good moment. This is spiritual. This is divine timing. This is your hour. When divine timing touches your life, everything changes. You no longer need the applause of others. You no longer need a crowd to cheer for you. You no longer need confirmation from those who never truly saw you. All you need is the courage to honor what is awakening inside of you. All you need is to listen to the voice of truth in your heart. Are you ready to honor that voice? Are you ready to walk forward even if it unsettles those who were more comfortable with your silence? Even Jesus, when he stepped fully into his purpose, confused the people around him. His closest friends didn't always understand. Some were afraid. Some resisted. But he didn't turn back just to make them comfortable. He moved forward with divine strength. And now, chosen one, it is your hour. It is your time to move forward with that same strength. It is your time to walk into your purpose without hesitation. This new chapter will no longer allow you to hide. The places where you once tiptoed, the spaces where you once tried to stay small, will now ask for your full presence. The parts of you that were once afraid are now being filled with a holy fire. But this fire is not here to harm you. It is not here to destroy you. It is here to define you. It is here to help you become everything you were created to be. You will no longer lead with fear. You will lead with passion. You will lead with purpose. You will lead with fire in your soul, fire in your direction, fire in your heart. Maybe before you dimmed your light to avoid upsetting people. Maybe you kept quiet to keep a peace that wasn't even real. But that time is over now. When the smoke rises around you, let it rise. Your clarity is stronger than their confusion. Your truth is louder than their opinions. Your fire is not here for show. It is here to build, to create, to bring your purpose to life. You don't have to be perfect to move forward. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need a detailed plan for the next 5 years. All you need is to take the next step. That is enough. The same strength that carried you through your hardest nights will carry you through your brightest days. Trust that. You don't need to see the whole road. Just take the next step, and the path will continue to unfold. Think of people who kept moving even when life tried to stop them. Dwayne Johnson didn't stop when he was rejected by the NFL. He didn't stop when he was at rock bottom. He kept moving, and each step led him to something greater. Just like that, your steps are leading you to something greater too. Your pain did not cancel your purpose. It prepared you for it. The rejection you faced was not a sign that you weren't enough. It was a sign that something better was being prepared for you. Every door that closed kept you on the right path. And now, doors will open. When they do, walk through them with peace. When blessings come, don't question them. Don't overthink them. Don't wonder if you deserve them. Receive them. Receive them with grace. Receive them with joy. You don't have to earn every good thing through struggle. What if grace is allowed to come easily? What if the preparation you've done was enough? This is your time to receive. This is your time to walk forward without apology. This is your time to show up fully, even if you feel nervous, even if your voice shakes. You are not walking blindly. You are walking with favor. You are walking with divine guidance. The path ahead has already been prepared for you. The pain you went through didn't stop your destiny. It prepared you for it. The waiting, the delays, the heartbreaks, they all shaped you. They made you ready for this moment. Every time you felt like life was standing still, every time you felt like nothing was happening, something was happening. You were being positioned for this exact moment. And now that moment is here. The doors are opening. The opportunities are appearing. The blessings are flowing. This is not the time to shrink back. This is not the time to hesitate. This is the time to walk forward boldly. This is the time to trust that everything is aligning. You are not behind. You were never behind. You were being prepared. You were being positioned. And now everything is falling into place. You don't need to chase what's meant for you. What's meant for you knows where to find you. You don't need to lower your standards to be accepted. The right people will rise to meet you. You don't need to explain your truth to those who refuse to see it. You are not here to prove yourself. You are here to be yourself. You are here to live your truth. Your life will speak louder than words. Your presence will shift the atmosphere. Your words will carry weight because they come from someone who has walked through fire and come out stronger. You don't need to perform. You don't need to try to impress. You just need to be who you are. That is enough. Your light is enough. Your truth is enough. Chosen one. Can you feel it? The moment you have waited for. The moment your soul has quietly prepared for through every storm, every heartbreak, every night when you wondered if your prayers were heard, it has arrived. Your season is not on its way. It is not waiting for some future date or a distant sign. It is here, right now, wrapping itself around you like sunlight after endless rain. This is the time you were born for, the time that was written into your destiny before you ever took your first breath. The path is no longer clouded by confusion or fear. The path is clear. Every obstacle that once stood before you has been moved by unseen hands. Every delay, every detour, every disappointment has led you to this very place. The fire that burns within you, the fire that others tried to extinguish, that you yourself doubted at times, is now blazing so brightly that it can no longer be hidden. It is a holy fire, a fire of purpose, a fire of truth, and it is lighting the way not just for you, but for those who will come after you, those who need to see what courage looks like. The world is no longer blind to your presence. The world is no longer asleep to your light. It is ready to see who you have become, ready to witness the strength that was forged in silence, in tears, in lonely battles that no one saw. The world is ready to see the real you, the one who chose love when hate was easier, who chose faith when fear screamed loudest, who kept walking when the ground beneath your feet felt like it was breaking. You are not stepping into some fantasy, some fleeting dream that disappears with the dawn. No, you are stepping into reality, a reality that was promised to you, a reality you fought for in the secret places of your heart, a reality shaped by your patience, your persistence, and your unshakable belief that there was more for you. You are stepping into the life you were born for, the life that was always yours but waited for you to be ready to claim it. So walk forward and don't look back. Don't second guess. Don't shrink yourself to make others comfortable. This is your time to expand, to rise, to claim every blessing with open hands and an open heart. Shine brightly, chosen one. Shine in a way that makes the darkness uncomfortable. Shine so those lost in the shadows can find their way home. Your light was not given to you to be hidden. Your light was given to you to change the atmosphere around you, to warm hearts, to inspire hope, to remind the broken that healing is real. Live fully. Don't hold back. Don't dim yourself out of fear that you're too much. You were never too much. You were always exactly what this moment needed. Breathe it in. Feel it in your bones. This is your time. Not tomorrow. Not next year. Now. The world is not just ready to see it. The world needs to see it. Needs to see you. Needs to feel the power of someone who chose to rise. Someone who chose to believe. Someone who chose to be exactly who they were created to be. So go, chosen one. The stage is set. The world is watching, and heaven is cheering you on.
What happens when a man stops chasing, stops proving, and simply becomes everything he was meant to be? What happens when he no longer looks outside himself for approval, for love, or for worth, but finds it quietly, deeply within? Chosen one, this is where your true power was born. The shift inside you didn't begin where people could see it. It didn't start where the world could cheer for you, where someone could clap for your strength or praise your growth. No, it started far beneath the surface, in the silent, sacred places where no one was watching, no one understood, and no one offered applause. It started in the darkness of your own heart, where you sat with yourself, where you faced your truth. It wasn't loud. It wasn't fast. It was raw, steady, and real. You didn't become magnetic overnight. There was no trick, no shortcut, no performance. What happened was simple, but powerful. You remembered yourself. You stopped bending to please others. You stopped chasing what wasn't yours. You stopped letting the world tell you what made you powerful what made you worthy, what made you enough. And in that stillness, in that quiet anchoring, something rare began to grow inside you. Something ancient, something steady, something deeply masculine. You didn't have to shout for attention. You didn't have to show off. You didn't have to prove anything. Your energy began to speak for itself. It showed in your voice, in your walk, in the fire behind your eyes. Not as hunger, not as desperation, but as calm, certain, embodied strength. You stopped being a man who hopes to be desired. You became a man who knows that he is. And because of that, something sacred began to respond. The feminine energy felt you before you even spoke, before you even moved, before she even knew your name. It wasn't your posture, or your clothes, or your scent. It was your stillness, your composure, the quiet fire that lives in your gaze, the way you take up space without asking permission. That's what called her. That's what reached deep inside her and touched the parts of her that had been hidden away, protected, hardened by years of imbalance and unmet truth. She didn't come loudly. She didn't chase. She simply responded. The most feminine women, the ones who are soft, graceful, deeply rooted in sacred flow, noticed you, not because you ran after them, but because you became the steady center in a spinning, noisy world. They felt your groundedness, and something in them exhaled. They sensed your depth, and something in them opened. They saw your discipline, and something in them whispered, finally. You didn't get here by playing games or learning clever lines. You became this man through the work you did when no one was watching, through mastering yourself, through sitting with your own chaos and taming it without casting it on others, through holding your hunger and letting it transform into true magnetism. And now, because you are no longer driven by desire, what you once desired finds its way to you with ease. These women, soft, radiant, intuitive, do not give their hearts to just any man. But now they come to you because your energy tells the truth. It says, I won't control you. I will hold you. It says, I don't need you to fill me. I am already whole. It says, I have met my own storms and survived, and I will not shrink from yours. That is what makes her open. That is what makes her trust. You're not the man waiting for permission anymore. You are the man she chooses, not out of fear, but out of trust, because she knows the strength in you will not collapse when she shows her full self, because you don't try to change her. You honor her. That is why she comes. That is why she appears without being summoned. You have stopped searching for the feminine. You have become the man worthy of her arrival. And now she comes easily, naturally, without games or resistance, because she trusts the man who no longer tries to tame her wild or control her warmth. She trusts the man who is so deeply rooted in himself that she can finally let go and breathe. You have stepped into a space where you no longer seek attention or chase after what isn't meant for you. You have stepped into a space where attention, alignment, and the right energy come to you without effort. Your presence no longer asks. It commands, not through force, not through noise, but through deep truth. And the most feminine women feel this. They are drawn not by your words, not by your looks, but by your energy. You no longer chase. You attract. And what comes to you now is not confusion or drama, but depth, alignment, and peace. You are the calm in the storm, the steady ground in the chaos, the quiet strength in a noisy world. Your sexual energy no longer burns wildly or scatters aimlessly. It glows steadily beneath your skin, warm and focused, inviting rather than demanding. The most feminine women feel this, not as pressure, but as peace, not as demand, but as invitation. They feel your presence, and they feel safe. Safe to soften, safe to open, safe to trust. And that trust is the most sacred thing she can give. She comes to you now not because you asked for her, not because you reached for her, but because you became the man her spirit always longed to find. The man who does not need to conquer her because he has conquered himself. The man who does not tremble at her storms because he has faced his own and survived. The man who can hold all of her without turning away. This is why she comes to you now, not with noise, not with games, but with ease. Because she sees the truth in you, and in that truth, she blooms. You are steady. You are calm. You don't try to grab attention. You don't speak loudly. You don't try to impress. And that's exactly what makes her stop. That's what makes her notice you in a way she didn't expect. When you are near, something in her shifts. She forgets the lines she prepared. She forgets the act she thought she had to put on. Something about you makes her feel safe enough to stop pretending. Safe enough to take off the mask. Safe enough to breathe, maybe for the first time in a long while. You are not what she imagined. You don't fit into the boxes she built in her mind. You don't win her with fancy words, expensive things, or by trying to take charge. You don't pull her into your world. You simply leave the door open, without pressure, without force. And that is what draws her in. Slowly, carefully, gently, she begins to let go. Not because you ask her to, not because you convince her, but because she feels safe. Safe to let go of the act, safe to put down the armor, safe to soften. When she is with you, she doesn't feel like she has to be what the world expects. She feels like a woman, not an idea, not a role. Simply herself. Your sexual energy is not loud, not pushy, not hungry. It doesn't reach out to take. It reminds her of what she already has inside. You don't steal her light. You reflect it. And when she sees her own light in your eyes, it heals her. It softens her. It makes her want to give, not because you asked for anything, but because it feels right. Because with you, it feels safe. You don't pull her. You free her. You don't chase her. You don't run after love. You stand still, and it comes to you. Your loyalty isn't something you demand. It's something you inspire. You don't need to ask her to trust you. Your presence, your steadiness, your truth make her want to. You didn't earn this by trying to be someone else. You didn't get here by chasing or proving. You got here because you finally stayed true to yourself. You turned down the noise of the world. You listened to your heart. You found your own truth. And now that truth draws her in. She feels it before she can explain it. Her soul knows it before her mind does. That's why she comes to you gently, without rush, without drama. She comes with softness, with peace, because your energy tells her she can be herself. You are no longer trying to be a dream or a fantasy. You are just yourself. And that is what she's been searching for, even if she couldn't put it into words. She knows now. She knows because you see her, not just the easy parts, not just the soft or the sweet. You see her strength. You see her fears. You see the wildness, the longing, the parts she thought no one could hold. And you don't run. You don't flinch. That is what makes her trust you. That is what makes her stay. You don't move with need. You move with strength. And that strength makes her want to give herself fully. She doesn't come to you looking for answers. She comes because she knows you aren't afraid of the questions. You don't try to fix her. You don't try to change her. You listen. You see, and that helps her heal, all on its own. Your eyes don't take from her. They see her. They honor her. They hold her. And so she lets go. She lets the walls come down. She lets herself be seen. She doesn't need to act strong anymore. She doesn't need to hide. Not because you asked her to let go, but because being with you makes it easy. You have become the kind of man she can trust. The kind of man she doesn't have to test. The kind of man who doesn't try to take, but gives peace. You don't try to get noticed. You don't try to win anyone over. You simply are. And that is what draws her close. Not your looks. Not your charm. Not even your confidence. It is the deep, steady truth of you that calls to her. The truth of a man who knows who he is. You don't need her to fill a space in you. You don't need her to make you whole. You are already whole. And that is what calls to her. She feels it in the quiet of her heart. She feels it in the way she doesn't have to fight for her place beside you. She feels welcomed. She feels safe. She feels seen. And you didn't get here by trying to impress anyone. You got here by doing the hard work when no one was looking. By holding your pain without letting it hurt others. By rising without needing anyone to clap. By staying steady when everything told you to break. And now, without trying, you draw in the kind of woman who has waited for a man like you. A man who doesn't need her, but welcomes her. A man who doesn't take from her, but offers peace. You no longer chase beauty, or love, or attention. You no longer run after what you thought you needed. Now you simply are. And what is meant for you comes to you. The right woman feels this. She feels it before she can explain it. She feels it in her breath. She feels it in her heart. She doesn't know why your silence lingers longer than other men's words. She doesn't know why one glance from you feels deeper than whole conversations. But you know because you've stopped needing to prove anything. You've stopped needing to be loud. You simply are. And that is what she answers. Not the show, not the charm, but the truth. And so she softens. She stops fighting. She stops pretending. She lets herself be seen. Not because you told her to. Not because you asked. But because your presence makes it safe. You become the place where she can rest, where she can lay down her sword, where she doesn't have to lead or guard herself or stay in control, where she can simply be. You give her peace, and that is the rarest gift. You don't give her promises. You don't give her plans. You give her safety, and that is what she has been waiting for. even when she didn't know it. When she stands near you, she feels it. She feels it in her breath, in the way she relaxes without meaning to, in the way her heart softens, in the way she stops needing to be on guard. Your strength is quiet, sure, steady, and that is what pulls her in. Not charm, not noise, truth. And truth is what she was always searching for. You became this man by being real, by being you. And that is what she saw, even before she understood it. That is why she stays. Because with you, she doesn't have to be anything but herself. And that, chosen one, is the greatest gift you could ever offer.
Have you ever noticed how quiet people get when your name is mentioned? How the air seems to shift, how the room feels heavier, how eyes glance around like they're searching for an escape. That silence isn't by chance. That's fear speaking. They don't fear what you might do with your hands or what you might say with your mouth. They fear something far deeper. They fear your presence, your truth, your light, the power you carry without even trying. From the moment you stepped into your real power, they felt it like a storm was coming. They felt it like the ground itself whispered your name as a warning. You didn't have to say a word. Your energy spoke for you. Your silence screamed louder than any voice ever could. You didn't have to lift a hand. Your presence became the lesson. They tried to paint you as the problem, but deep down, they know they went up against something far bigger than they could handle. When they moved against you, they weren't just playing with a person. They were picking a fight with the flow of the universe. And now they're paying the price. That's why they whisper your name. That's why they hope your name doesn't find them in the dark. That's why they try to act like they never doubted you. Your reputation walks into rooms before you do. Your energy changes the air. You're not loud. You don't need to be. You're real. And nothing scares the fake more than someone who's real in a world built on lies. They thought they could shrink you. They thought they could break you. But all they did was give the universe another reason to lift you higher. That's what happens when you're chosen. Not chosen by people, but chosen by something greater. Something that saw your soul and said, "This one is mine." Every time they tried to break you, they only brought destruction back on themselves. You didn't curse them. You didn't wish them harm. You stayed still. You stayed true, and the universe handled the rest. Your peace became their punishment. Your growth became their consequence. Your strength became the storm they never saw coming. And now, they live with the regret of ever thinking they could handle someone like you. You were never just a person. You were never just another name. You became the reminder they can't escape, the proof that no matter what they do, they can't stop what's meant. And still, you wonder if maybe you're too much. Still, you question if maybe you're the problem. Still, you think about shrinking so they can feel comfortable standing next to you. But why? Why would you ever doubt the light you carry? Why would you ever hide the strength that's kept you standing? You weren't made to blend in. You weren't made to make cowards feel brave. You weren't made to make liars feel safe. You were made to shake rooms just by standing in them. Your presence doesn't confuse people. It exposes them. You don't disrupt spaces because you're trying to. You do it because your truth shines too bright for their masks to stay on. You don't have to say anything. Your silence speaks. Your energy reflects back to them everything they've tried to hide. And that's what they fear? Not you, but what your existence forces them to see in themselves. They called you mysterious because they didn't understand you. But the truth is, they didn't want to understand you. Understanding you would mean facing their own truth, and they weren't ready for that. So they labeled you. They whispered about you. They tried to make you small. But you weren't made for shallow waters. You were carved by storms. And if they can't handle your depth, let them sink in their denial. You don't owe anyone an apology for being what you are. You don't have to dim your light so that others can stay blind. You don't have to lower your voice when your silence says it all. They thought the fire would end you. They thought the destruction would break you. But they didn't realize you were born from fire. You didn't just survive it. You rose from it. You came back stronger, wiser, sharper. You became the proof that destruction isn't the end. You became the reminder that nothing they do can stop what was meant for you. Now, they choke on the smoke of the fire that tried to destroy you. Now, they shield their eyes from the glow of your rebirth. They gathered to watch you fall. And now they have no choice but to watch you rise. Your name is no longer just a name. It's a warning. It's the sound of everything they tried to break, still standing. Your name is the echo of every plan they made that failed. The universe kept its promise to you. The universe protected you in ways they couldn't see, but could always feel. And now, every time they hear your name, they remember that truth. They remember what they tried to do. They remember that you didn't have to fight them. The universe fought for you. Your peace, your growth, your strength, your silence. That was enough. So stop questioning. Stop doubting. Stop shrinking. You weren't made to be small. You were made to remind this world that real still exists. Let them whisper your name. Let them feel the weight of what they couldn't destroy. And you? Keep walking. Keep rising. Keep being everything they said you couldn't be. Because they didn't fear you for what you did. They feared you for what you are. A light that can't be dimmed. A truth that can't be silenced. A storm that doesn't need permission to be felt. They don't like you because in their hearts, they know they could never have survived what you did. Where they would have broken down, where they would have given up and folded, you kept going. Even when everything felt like it was falling apart. Even when it felt like you were dragging your soul through the darkest moments, you kept walking. You walked through fire, through storms, through pain that should have ended you. And somehow, instead of breaking, you came out glowing. You came out stronger, brighter, and more powerful than they ever expected. They were waiting for you to fall apart so they could point at you as a warning. They thought you would be the story people tell about what happens when someone fails. But instead, you became the example of what it looks like to rise, of what it means to survive and come out even greater. And that truth eats at them because when you rise like that, when you come back stronger from what was meant to destroy you, you become untouchable. You become someone they can't reach, someone they can't control, someone whose light shines too bright for them to dim. The version of you they thought they could use, manipulate, and control no longer exists. That old version of you, the one they underestimated, was destroyed in the fire. And what came back from those flames was something they can't handle. Someone shaped by pain, strengthened by pressure, empowered by pure will. They don't know what to do with this new you, so they call you cold. They say you've changed. They whisper that you're arrogant. But what they're really saying, without admitting it, is that they don't recognize the person they tried so hard to break. And that's exactly how it should be. They shouldn't recognize you. That old version of you is gone, buried along with their place in your life. So it's time to stop holding back. Stop trying to make yourself smaller so other people can feel comfortable. Stop trying to fit into places that were never meant for you. Stop saying sorry for surviving what should have ended you. You don't owe softness to those who offered you nothing but harm. You don't owe explanations for why you're stronger, for why you've changed, for why you're no longer the same person who tolerated their games. You didn't just survive. You rose. You became better. You became the proof that chosen ones don't burn in the fire. We rise from it. And the ashes they thought would bury you? That's what you used to build your wings. You wonder why your growth makes people uncomfortable. It's because your strength forces them to face their own weakness. Watching you heal shattered the stories they told themselves about you. Watching you win reminds them that they failed to destroy you. You were supposed to fall, but instead, you became the fire. And now everything you touch shines. Every place you walk through is changed. You became a force, a symbol, living proof that those who try to destroy chosen ones will pay the price. And those who are still watching, still hoping you'll fall again, they know the truth. If the old version of you didn't break, this new version is a problem they can't handle. So stop doubting the power that came from your pain. Stop asking why they fear you now. They should fear you. You've shown that not even your darkest, lowest moment could define you. You became the consequence, the storm after the fire, the living reminder that chosen ones don't fall. We rise stronger. And now you carry something they can't touch, a weight, a strength, a legacy. People work so hard trying to keep up with you, and they can't. You move so fast it makes no sense to them. They swear you're lucky, but luck has nothing to do with it. This is what happens when you're aligned, when you're chosen, when you're moving with the universe behind you. While they're still trying to figure out step one, you've already finished the whole journey. While they're practicing the intro, you're already taking the final bow. And what really eats at them is how easy you make it look. While they stress and struggle for scraps, you multiply blessings like it's second nature. And it is, for you, not because you're better, but because you're built differently. You don't move with the world. You move with divine speed, with purpose, with the wind of the universe at your back. That's why they whisper. That's why they doubt. That's why they hate. They don't understand how you keep winning without bleeding for it the way they do. You're not racing. You're gliding. While they push uphill, you move like gravity is on your side. And still, some of you try to hide your power. You shrink so others won't feel small. You downplay your wins to keep peace. But why? Why are you afraid of your own power? Why are you scared to move at the speed you were born for? You didn't ask for this speed. You didn't force this growth. It came to you because it was meant for you. That's what they'll never understand. You didn't chase it. It followed you. Because when you're chosen, your success doesn't come from pressure. It comes from purpose. It comes from walking the path carved out just for you. Yes, it scares people. Your success makes them feel like they're falling behind. You grow without begging. You win without losing your soul. You pass levels they didn't even know existed. You don't cheat the process. You're the exception that rewrites it. Let them think it was easy. Let them believe you're just lucky. They didn't see the nights you cried in silence. They didn't see the moments you almost gave up. They didn't see the times you stood alone, doubted, and still chose to keep going. What they see now is the reward for your quiet faith. Let them think it came out of nowhere. What they call magic is really favor. You don't fight for crumbs because you were born with a seat at the table. And if there was no table, you'd build one from nothing. That's what scares them. You don't just rise. You rise again and again. Every time they think you're done, you come back stronger. That kind of strength is not normal. That is divine. You're not ahead of them. You're not even in the same race. So stop questioning yourself. Stop watering down your glow. Stop feeling bad for mastering in weeks what takes them years. You were built for this. You were made for leaps, for growth that doesn't make sense to others. And yes, it looks easy now, but you paid the price behind the scenes. That peace, that confidence, that skill, they cost you. Now it looks supernatural because it is. The universe saw the struggle and said, now it's time to make it all make sense. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Let them try to figure out how you keep rising. You're not here to slow down for those still stuck. You're here to lead. And for those who lost you, they didn't lose just a person. They lost something rare, a divine connection. They thought you'd always be there. They thought your loyalty was endless. They thought your energy was theirs to use. But they didn't realize they were standing next to purpose, next to destiny. And now they watch from afar, bitter and haunted by what they lost. The universe saw how they treated you and removed them. It wasn't punishment for you. It was protection. At the time, it felt like heartbreak. It felt like loss. But now you see clearly. They weren't leaving. They were being removed because they couldn't go where you're going. Their spirit couldn't handle your rise. So the universe cleared your path. It hurt, but now look at you. Lighter, clearer, stronger. Their exit wasn't loss. It was preparation. So stop crying over doors that closed. Stop missing people who were never meant to stay. Every goodbye made space for the right ones. They thought you'd chase them, but you weren't lonely. You were being set apart, prepared for what's next, and now they regret it. They feel it deeply, even if they'll never say it. Let them. Your glow, your peace, your strength, that's what they lost, and they can't come back. Loyalty matters, and they failed the test. You weren't meant to be surrounded by fakes. You were meant to walk with truth, with those who see your worth with no agenda. The wrong ones had to leave so the right ones could arrive. You weren't made to be liked. You were made to be felt. Even your silence leaves a mark. That weight people feel when you walk into a room. That's not by accident. That's by design. The universe didn't send you here to blend in. Every hard thing you went through wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to shape you into someone too powerful to play with. They tried to humble you. Life tried to crush you. People tried to mock you. But all they did was help build what they now fear. Stop apologizing for your strength. Stop softening yourself so others feel okay. You weren't made to blend in. You were made to lead. The power of your name isn't hype. It was built in silence, in moments you chose not to quit. That's why your name carries weight. That's why they respect you, even if they won't admit it. Let them talk. Let them wonder. You didn't choose this path. It chose you. And now you carry a name, a spirit, a legacy that will last long after the fakes are gone. You didn't just survive. You became the standard. And they will remember you every time your name crosses their mind and they go quiet. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to slow down. You are here to rise, to lead, to show what favor looks like. And that is enough.